Yeah, I hopped up on my load here to show you we got the dome over us again. Horizontal 45s. And then across the sky is the other point right over here. They're going in. They're pointed in. That one's pointed that way. This is kind of a mess, but you can see it's basically pointed that way. The point of attraction is here. And you can see it coming in, pointed that direction. And the other pole of the magnetic field that's over us right now is over here. And I'll remind you that I'm gonna get down off the load now so they don't look at me like an idiot, but all last summer, not last summer, summer of 2018 and 2019, MB3 gave you UV readings, UVA, UVB, and UVC. And he would show you the UVA and UVB and give you a chart to show you where the danger level's at. It's about 11 or 12 on UVA and B. And on UVC, he would always tell you it's supposed to be 0 at ground level, except in the Arctic where there's no magnetic field and the UVC is allowed to penetrate. He did that all through the year of 2018 and 2019. You know what he did for 2020? Showed you the genetic mutations of strawberries, sunflowers, tomatoes, clovers, and carrots, just to name a few. The strawberries had little green leaves sprouting right out of the berry. Same thing with the tomato. The seeds inside the tomato were sprouting right out of the tomato. Same thing with the sunflower. In the middle of the sunflower where the seeds are supposed to be, were coming out yellow and green leaves and shoots of new sunflowers. That's 3 very similar genetic mutations. Like the seeds in the sunflower head are popping. The seeds in the tomato are popping and growing a new tomato right out the tomato. The seeds in the strawberry are growing leaves right out the strawberry. The clovers, 4, 5, 6, and 7 leaf clovers the size of your hand. Literally, people were sending him these pictures from all around the world, clovers the size of your palm, and they would show you them on the ground. There's one, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. 4-leaf clover, hell, they got dozens and dozens of 5, 6, and 7-leaf clovers right next to each other. That's the genetic mutations. That's why MB3 quit showing you the UV readings and instead started showing you the genetic mutations. Don't you wish you had a magnetic field over your house? Last week when I showed you this, where you could see the 2 poles, one's right there, and last week when I showed you this, it was in Provo Canyon, coming down out of Provo Canyon through Park City and Heber area. So there's 1, 2. It's not able to show it. I don't have a panoramic view, so I think you're getting the point though. And I just want to tell you, like Mr. MB3 said, hat, sunglasses, long sleeve pants and shirts and gloves. And I've been saying for a while, take your iodine. It protects you from radiation. It fills your thyroid with the good halogen of iodine. That way you don't uptake fluoride, bromine, and chlorine, the bad halogens. And that does a lot for your system. The thyroid does a lot of regulatory functions for your endocrine system. So there's no downside to taking iodine. It protects you from radiation, at least the nuclear kind. And just another provable, testable sun simulator thing. Right here at the edge, it does nothing. When you get to that very center point right there, that's when it actually covers it. But you can put your finger from the edge of the sun clear into here and nothing. But when you touch over at that little tiny point in the center, that shows you the rest of this is all glare. And that little tiny dot in the center will go in from the other side just to show you how small the dot is. You get a finger width on both sides. The dot's tiny. Right there. The rest of it is all glare. So that tells you the light source is a little tiny micro dot within that larger circle. My point is, UVC is supposed to be 0 at ground level. He said that with every reading, except in the Arctic where there's no magnetic field. And as he would take these readings, they would increasingly get higher and higher on the UVC until he just stopped showing you the readings and started showing you the genetic mutations. So having your own little magnetic field over you to protect you from that UV, probably a pretty good deal. Did I mention carrots? Carrots, sunflowers, clovers, strawberries, tomatoes, and he showed you bell peppers with holes burned in them because they had the sun simulator cranked up too high. That's all. Just give you one more quick view from the top side so you can see how they're all pointing to whatever's right there, pulling the magnetics to this point right here. Everything's pointing to right there. That's the magnetic pole. Likewise over here, might be a little harder to see. These over here pointed that way. These over here pointed that way. The one on the horizon is perfectly flat. This one's a little stringy, but you can see, let's go from one pole to the other. See if I can do that bending backwards thing. Yeah, not today. Not on top of the load. Anyway, point is we're under a magnetic field, creating an artificial barrier from that UVC.